my friend.
So this video is all about how I mentally break down a marathon and what went through my mind at different stages when I ran Manchester Marathon 2024. This is my 6th attempt at trying to break 2 hours and 20 minutes in the marathon distance. Here's the lead pack over here.
Go on, Nick.
And I'm currently over here in the chasing pack. Okay, so the way I mentally break down a marathon is as follows. The first half of a marathon, it doesn't even count. It's as simple as that. Switch the brain off and conserve as much energy as possible for that second half. Be in touch with your splits, be in tune with your pace, but switch the brain off and conserve as much energy as possible. Then from the halfway point onwards, we've got 21 Ks left. I break it down as follows. 7, 7, 5, 1, 1. Kilometers 21 to 28. That 7 kilometer section is all about concentration and focus, setting the tone for the second half and what's to come. Then kilometer 28 to 35. That 7 kilometer stretch is all about gritting your teeth, blocking out those demons, being stubborn and grinding through it. From kilometer 35 to kilometer 40, that 5k stretch, it's basically a park run left. Okay, why I say basically is because a marathon's a little bit longer than 40k's, but it's just a park run. That's what you need to think. And how many park runs have you done? Time flies by. You've got this. Kilometer 40 to 41.2. Just over a kilometer. This is the one before the last. Open up, treat it as if it's your last, because that last kilometer never ever counts. And what I mean by that is you can always find something when you can smell, hear, taste those finish line feels. So block that out, because that'll give you the strength you need for that final kilometer. So my goal for this race was to break 2 hours and 20 minutes. For that, I needed to average at least 3:19 per kilometer or 5:20 per mile. Conditions were breezy, a lot windy than we would have wanted, but very grateful to be working in a group at this early stage and trying to conserve as much energy as possible for that second half. Through the 5k split in 16:45, that's an average pace of 3:21 per k. Remember, I want to average or need to average 3:19 in order to break 2:20, but it's early days and I'd rather tuck into the group and conserve energy. In my last few attempts, I've gone significantly faster in the first half than in the second half, but if I look at when I ran my best marathon, it was a negative split. So I'm going back to that strategy for this race. I'm trying to conserve that energy, so I'm taking my mind somewhere else, pretending that this first half doesn't even count, and really trying to save those fireworks for that second half. Is it going to pay off? Let's see, but I feel like that at the moment is giving myself the best possible chance. As you can see here, the group's splitting up a little bit. We are running into a bit of a headwind, so not ideal. We want to be nice and compact as possible, but these things tend to happen. So thanks so much to that gentleman in front setting the pace. He was an absolute legend, but I think if you find yourself in this situation, really try and tuck in as closely as possible, share the work, because ultimately it'll help you improve your goal at the end of the day. I often get asked, at what stage do you leave a group and run your own race? And the answer to that is it depends how comfortable you are. At the moment, I'm very comfortable. We're working together quite nicely. There's a bit of a headwind and it's perfect. But if I was even in the slightest out of my comfort zone before the 10k mark, then I'm much better off completely backing off and running my own race to avoid hitting a wall very early on in the race. Here we are through the 10k split in 33:32, so still 2 seconds a k over goal marathon pace, but I know that if I feel good later on, I can make that up. I just quickly want to give you a feel for the support I got out there. It was incredible. Thank you so much, and it helps me so much.
Go on, Nick. Today's the day, buddy. Something, buddy. Come on. That's it, Nick. Come on, Nick. Boom shakalaka. Come on.
Go on, Nick. Boom shakalaka.
Go on, Nick. Here, we're faster. Go on, Nick. Well done, buddy. Stick with it. Well done, bud.
Looking great, guys. Looking great, Nick. Well done.
Amazing. Well done, guys. Go, work, mate. Keep going. Go on, Nick. Go on. Keep going. Let's go.
Some absolutely beautiful boom shakalakas out there and support. Honestly, it motivates me more than you'd ever believe, and I hear every single one of them, so thank you for that.
Keep it going. Come on.
The fun and games of the first half are over and we're into the second half, the business stage of the race. Through the halfway split in 70-10, which would give us a 2:20-20 marathon. So that means I need to run 69:49, a negative split solo in the second half if I'm going to break 2:20 today. The group is gone. It's solo running from here on in. I can't see a runner in front of me or behind. The crowds have quietened down, and this is what goes through my head for the rest of the race. Kilometers 21 to 28. This 7-kilometer section, like I said early on, is about concentrating and focus. It's a really important section of the marathon as it sets the tone for the second half. Too hard here and you can jeopardize that crucial last third of the race, but if you hold too much back here, you might find that you're leaving some out on the course. I felt good at halfway, but I needed to feel incredible if I was going to do negative split. You'll see me regularly checking my watch because I don't quite know. I'm not in tune with my pace at the moment. I'm feeling like I'm pushing hard and I'm really just hoping and praying the splits are telling me good news. Oh, marathons, you can be a lonely and cruel place sometimes. All I'm thinking on my mind is just get to that 28k mark, get through the 7k stretch, and you only have 1/3 to go. Give yourself a good chance. You're not feeling great, but you're not feeling too bad at the same time. Through the Manchester suburbs we go, and as you can see, I'm fueling on a gel there. I'm trying to fuel regularly throughout. What you want to do is avoid being depleted before you take your gel. So I've had my gel. I'm wondering, where can I throw it away? I see an officer there. Thanks so much for taking it. I bet you is wondering, what's this stinky, salty runner giving me over here? Okay, we are now deep into the marathon, well into that last third, and this 7k stretch from 28 to 35 is all about gritting your teeth, blocking out those demons, and just being all out stubborn. Us runners can be a stubborn bunch, and we need to be stubborn here. Let's just quickly have another peep at my epic 3-pointer. I've landed a few of these in my life. I'm just happy this one got caught on camera.
Good job. Yeah, nice mate. Come on.
I'm so glad it gave them as much satisfaction as it gave me. And please let me know in the comments below, have you ever landed a 3-pointer yourself? Have you ever gone one round the back? I'd love to know. That little moment over there just took the pain at this stage of the marathon off for just a little bit, which was hugely appreciated. Here I am going through the 30k split in 1 hour 40 and 15 seconds, which is 3:21 per kilometer. Still 2 seconds per k over my goal pace and my lifelong dream of breaking 2:20. Just listen to how lonely it is out there, me and my thoughts.
What are we on TV?
For the first time in this race, I've come to the realization that sub 220, once again, it's not going to happen. It's going to rip my heart away. Another really good performance, but it's not going to be under that sub 220. But don't you worry, don't get too upset. I've got Berlin lined up in September and I am bloodthirsty for that. I'm going to smash it out the park, I promise you. My form is dipping slightly, my splits are slowing down. I'm no longer in control over my pace. That's why you can see me regularly looking at my watch. My mind wants to go more than ever, but physically I'm just not there at this point in time. I started my marathon training for this one very late, and I feel like I just didn't go into this race fresh enough, and there's no hiding when it comes to marathon running, and it's coming out at this stage of the race. Often during this part of the race, your pace tends to slow down a little bit. If it's happening to you, don't worry, it's normal. It happens to a lot of us, but you really need to remind yourself why you're doing this. Think about those big sessions you had in training, those higher mileage weeks. Let those come out, make you mentally tough, and give you that strength you need for this crucial last third. It's definitely the section of the marathon where I find mentally the toughest, because you're fatigued, you've worked so very physically hard, but you can't quite smell that finish line just yet. If you're strong at this point in the race, amazing. You really need to capitalize it. Start gradually increasing. Don't do anything too much, but then you're on the money and you're on track for the PB. If you're like me, not feeling incredible, grit your teeth and keep grinding, because better days will come. If you have fellow runners or people in and around you at this stage of the race, try use them as markers. Nothing quite motivates you more than overtaking people. And if you're suffering, just know that there's a big chance the people next to you are suffering just as much, if not more.
That's it, come on.
Okay, into the next phase we go. 35 to 40 Ks, basically a park run left. If you think about it, it's just a park run. That's all we've got. That last bit, don't worry, it never counts. We'll deal with that. Try and get some fuel early on in the section, because trust me, you're going to need it towards the end to give you that extra little kick. Use the crowds on the course to lift your spirits and power you through this part.
Come on, Nick. Come on.
Currently in position number 7, tracking for a 2 hour 20 and something marathon and fighting for every single second that I've got. Here's a quick look at the gentleman in 8th.
Come on, keep it up. Come on.
You can see just how split the field is at this stage of the race, and I can't see anyone in front of me. So it's really tough because my morale is down. I know my goal time is not what I'm going to hit today, but one thing that certainly does help is coming back on the route and seeing fellow runners out there grinding it out. 32,000 of us doing 42,000 meters. You'll probably find at this stage of the race that demons are constantly popping into your mind, telling you to slow down, telling you you're hurting, telling you to pull over to the side and this could all be over. But no ways, hell no, do we accept that. In actual fact, we are so stubborn, we say no to them and we increase our splits if we can. Here we are entering the kilometer before the last, 40 to 41, just over 1k to go after this. And do you know what? That pre-race song that you thought about, let that come out and power you through this section. You've mentally prepared for it. It's tough, but it's here. You've worked through it 1,000 times in your head and you've got this. Keep powering through, hold that form, don't decrease your splits, because if you've got to this stage, you've made it.
This one, Nick, go on.
And here we are, we've grinded through it. Another marathon in the bank, 1 kilometer to go. Physically we depleted, mentally we can smell and taste that finish line. We've got this, let's pick it up. Often I think, how good is it going to feel crossing that finish line? Or when I'm 400 meters out, it's just one lap of the track. Those sorts of thoughts power through my head and they pick me up and give me that kick I need in order to get across that line.
Let's go, Nick!
A mile away. So that again is showing the calibre of the runners that are coming to this race year on year. As Freddie already said, second biggest